Bianca's explosive confrontation. EastEnders star spills exciting details on Whitney's wedding fallout. EastEnders shock. Whitney's wedding drama unveiled. Bianca's fury unleashed. Secrets, slaps, and showdowns. EastEnders teases explosive fallout from Whitney and Zach's wedding drama. An EastEnder admits the exciting consequences from Lauren Branning and Zach Hudson's secret. The only other person who is aware of their betrayal is Bianca Jackson, who will be pressuring Lauren in future scenes to tell her best friend the truth. Lauren is afraid because Bianca is telling her to tell Whitney before she does, even though she has already shown how furious she is about the whole thing by slapping both Lauren and Zach. Bianca gave a famous slap. Actress Jacqueline Jossa said, "I was so excited when I read that script." The consequences of Lauren and Zach betraying Whitney are incredibly creative, thrilling, and masterfully executed. The icing on the cake is Bianca's discovery, as Lauren is genuinely afraid of her. Not many people terrify Lauren, but Bianca is one of them, and I believe Whitney would be next on her list of individuals she wouldn't want to tangle with. She's walking carefully because she doesn't want Whitney to know, but she also doesn't want to press Bianca to the point where she comes clean in typical EastEnder fashion. Lauren is fully aware that it might happen at any time. As Bianca is breathing down her neck, Lauren tries to make Whitney reconsider marrying Zach, but as Jacqueline recounts, it quickly backfires terribly. Lauren has been supporting Zach and been his biggest fan ever since she returned. She insisted, for example, that Whitney tell him about Brittany. Thus, this abrupt shift to "he's not good enough for you" seems strange. Whitney interprets it as jealousy because Lauren isn't in a relationship, and there may be some truth to that. After Lauren becomes upset after her encounter with Whitney, her cousin Penny Branning steps in to try to patch things up, but that too doesn't go as planned. When Penny notices Lauren is clearly upset about something, Lauren panics and tells her that her confrontation with Whitney is pointless. However, Penny takes matters into her own hands and locks them in the taco truck to solve their problems because it's Whitney's hen do. She believes they'll go out and dance the night away when they're ready. However, things don't work out that way. Whitney breaks while trapped in the taco van, sending Lauren into complete terror. Jacqueline clarified, "There are so many different thoughts going through her mind. She needs to try to calm Whitney down, but she also needs to get them out of there, since they don't want Whitney to give birth in a taco van." There's also the terrifying possibility that, after having slept with her fiancé, she might give birth to Whitney's child. But in the end, Whitney and the baby's safety are the only things that matter to her. Andy Whyment of Coronation pays respects following the death of a great co-star just a few hours before the premiere of his most recent endeavor, Season 2 of the BBC drama The Responders starring Martin Freeman. The late actor's death was announced by the broadcaster. This weekend, Hill was scheduled to appear at Comic-Con in Liverpool, where he was expected to greet fans, pose for pictures, and sign autographs. Andy posted a photo of the two on Instagram. Andy is most known for playing Kirk Sutherland on the television series Corey. He wrote, "My first significant speaking role was on a show called Once Upon a Time in the North. I was saddened to learn of Bernard Hill's departure today. He played my dad in a 6-part series. R.I.P. Bernard." R.I.P. Bernard, so sad, Andy's mother at Whyment Jackie wrote. Hill was scheduled to speak at the Merseyside convention as well, but the event was postponed until one day prior. Due to Bernard's partner being taken very ill, he can no longer attend the event, said Comic-Con in an Instagram message. He sincerely apologizes and appreciates everyone's understanding. Following the destruction resulting from Hill's passing, they also shared a memorial. "We are devastated to learn of Bernard Hill's passing. A significant loss," Comic-Con remarked, thinking of his family at this very sad time and wishing them much strength. In a Coronation Street video, Bethany Platt reels after learning a shocking new detail regarding the death of Lauren Bolton. After Lauren's last known movements were reconstructed, Bethany became extremely anxious because she thought she saw sex abuser Nathan Curtis in the crowd. Bethany couldn't get rid of the awful feeling she was having, despite Daniel Osborne's assurances that she was only dreaming and that Nathan was still incarcerated. In the latest spoiler video, Bethany is gripped by the horrifying idea that Lauren might have known something horrible was going to happen to her as she watches the video of the reconstruction nonstop. Bethany refuses to stop watching the film despite Daniel's attempts to talk her out of it, arguing that if she hadn't escaped Nathan's grasp 7 years prior, the same thing might have happened to her. Shortly after, Bethany recognizes Nathan in the footage and pauses it to show Daniel, proving that she had been correct all along. The news that Nathan has been out of jail for several months is broken to Bethany by D.S. Swain, Vicky Myers, at the station in the scenes that follow. Bethany is enraged and begs Swain to bring him in for interrogation since she is positive he was involved in Lauren's death. Bethany and Daniel decide to see Nathan after learning through independent investigation that he is employed at a construction site close to the district. Upon finally meeting Nathan face-to-face, Bethany is filled with blind wrath and accuses him of killing Lauren. Is she headed in the correct direction to identify Lauren's true killer? Spoilers for Coronation Street. Steve is devastated to learn Tracy's fate. A few months back, Tracy started dating Tommy Orpington, Steve's former football hero. Tracy said she didn't have any regrets because she was so bored in their marriage, which shocked Steve when he finally confronted her about the infidelity. After the former Wethy County footballer disclosed he had received an offer for a position overseas, Tracy went with Tommy instead of Steve. Ready to start anew, the legendary figure packed her luggage and bid Weatherfield farewell. Steve is now at home, where he must accept his single status and re-enter the dating market. He recently went out for a drink with Demi, and thus far, things are going great. But still, Steve will read an article on Weatherfield County's intention to honor Tommy by commissioning a bust of him in future episodes. Then he runs into Demi again, and instead of paying attention to her, he starts slandering Tommy. Steve is more than happy to reveal Tracy's affair to Demi when she asks him why he despises Tommy so much. Steve sends Tim some photos from Tracy's social media accounts later in the week that show her paragliding over the Med. Tracy appears to be having a great time living without cobbles. Will Steve be able to see from these photos that he needs to put in more work in order to go on? Actor icon and Coronation Street star who shared the first gay kiss on television together passes away at the age of 84. During the course of a 50-year brilliant career, the actor created history by sharing the first ever gay kiss on television with Ian McKellen in Christopher Marlowe's Edward II. James moved to the UK from New Zealand in the mid-1960s, and he made his Coronation Street debut as Reverend Peter Hope in May 1968. Throughout his diverse career, he played a variety of roles and starred in various TV series, movies, and theatrical productions. In 1969, he made his screen debut in Women in Love, directed by Ken Russell, in a minor role. Among his most well-known roles were those of Mr. Cope in the popular Hollywood film One Day and Detective Inspector Bonaparte in the TV series Boney. He made a one-time appearance as David Halpern in the American soap opera Days of Our Lives in 1985. James played the role of Dr. Weir in the hit Netflix series The Crown in more recent times. James played a sleeping instructor in the 2022 film adaptation of the popular Tim Minchin musical Matilda, which debuted in theaters. Please subscribe our channel.